really even sure what it's definitely called. It's I'm using the a couple different kinds actually. Marine Guard and Marine Deck and tabletop and art art resin. So there's a whole mess of different kinds of resins that you guys can use to cover them, and you can also use them matte. I have a couple pieces here that are matte, which look really really cool. You can see it. I don't know if I don't know if you can see it real well. And then some that are glossy. So it all depends on what you like and how it comes out. And when the finished product, you might feel as though like, oh wow, that looks really cool, like matte. Like most of mine, I did with the epoxy on top of it. It's a real pain in the butt. It usually takes like at least 3 coats because there's a fuzz or a hair or something. So I recently purchased this it's not dehumidifier. It's like a particle collector or something. So it collects all the dust. So I keep that running in the art room, and you also have to cover it too. But this acrylic pour, which I'm going to do today, is really really, it's so easy. It's really funny, and it's amazing because no matter, you'll never be able to duplicate it. So which is really cool. And when you do it, you don't even know like how it's going to turn out, which is really cool too. And then the next morning it looks different. So, and then you can also do these little secret things that I call them secret things, like little additives, like silicone or what's that? WD-40. You can add on to it. You can put in some alcohol. So it all depends on like what you're trying to achieve. And you can only, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put some silicone in 2 of my colors. And what the silicone does, it makes a cell. So it makes a cell around this one. I think you can see. It's kind of cool. Some people call it what do they call it? Veiling or lacing. You can see how the cells are right there. It's pretty cool. And when it mixes in, you never know. And as you turn it, then the silicone mixes into the other colors. So you're able to get all these really cool different effects. And it's amazing. I really have so much fun. Unfortunately, like busy with work all day. And then I started like, you make dinner, and then I started like 10, and next thing I know, it's 2, 3 in the morning, and I did like 3 of them, and it's just like I can't stop, I can't stop. And then up here with the COVID, I got all my days and my nights are all mixed up. I feel so guilty if I get up at 10, but when you get to sleep at 3 doing art, it's hard to get up real early. But anyway, when we get back in the flow of things, I'm sure I'll be able to get myself back on track. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to turn this computer over here. Now, if you guys can't see, or if you want me to like do something different, just let me know. So what I have here, I did this piece and I did it in 2 pours, and I don't like it. So what I did is I wet it, and I got a razor and I cut around. I was going to put another piece on this other side, so I may do that. But what I did is I'm going to use this piece with you guys right now. What this is, you can put it on canvas, you can put it on this is furniture grade plywood, and it's real nice. It's one side is already both sides are sanded real nice, and then one side is already polyurethane. We met this fellow up in the Poconos that makes those teardrop campers. So he always has these extra sheets of like 4x4 for like $15. So we'll go up there and we'll pick them up, and then we cut them with the saw, sand them, put the Bondo around the corners, or that Musselman's stuff, the powder mix, the wood filler. But that's the biggest pain in the butt, in this whole project is the preparation. Once you get everything prepped, it's like woohoo, and you're off. But let me see. So what I like to do, I had a cup here. Here it is. I'm going to do what I call my Ouija pour, only because the first time I tried this, I didn't even see this on television. I was just like, farting around, and I was like, oh, this might work. And then I'm pouring the paint into it, and it started like moving all around on the board, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So this is like my favorite technique now. So I just get a cup, any size. Make sure it's not too small at the top because you want to get it like around the outside when you pour. So that could actually, I'm going to take a little bit more off of here actually. And you just, with this kind of, with the other types of pours, you have to, you know, sometimes it's difficult because you don't have enough paint or you have too much and then you have to do another painting because you have too much paint left over. So this is what I have. It's a regular cup. I'm not sure how many ounces it is, guys, but you get the gist of it. It's like one of those red cups, the keg beer drinking cups. So what I like to do is I'm going to start it here so you guys get a better view. So I'm just going to start pouring paint in here. And what I want to do is I want to make, when I want to achieve a certain effect, like say I want, like when you mix yellow and blue, and I've got 2 shades of yellow, 2 shades of blue rather, and 2 shades of yellow actually, you come out with this beautiful, beautiful blue and green, and it's amazing. So like I said, it's a crapshoot. When you pull your cup around, what mixes together mixes, what doesn't. And every single time you're going to come out with a different creation. It's amazing. And then also you want to try and like, say you want to mix, you put your red next to your blue. So what's that going to make, guys? Purple. So I have also purple here. So it's more fun, like mixing the colors and because you won't, like green, Kelly green, green, blue, royal blue, cobalt blue. But once you put a little mix in there, man, a little bit of yellow, it's awesome. But first off, what I want to do is I want to what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to do my silicone and my white. So every time you use your paint, let me tell you about the paint too. I use this. I just got this and I love it. It's not real expensive either. It's Saks True Flow Heavy Body, which is really good because you get a lot more out of your paint if you guys are thrifty like me. So heavy body means it's real thick, real thick. So you're going to use, like, everybody has a different equation. 50-50 is a good way to do it. Or you can do 60 of your paint. And then the second ingredient, which makes this whole project able to be done, is the Floetrol. So it's called Floetrol. I found it online. I was buying it first for $25 a gallon. Then I found this store somewhere and I got 3 gallons and shipped for like $52. So if you guys are interested, let me know and I'll put it up there. But it's called Flood. So this is called it eliminates brushes, roller marks, improves the flow, and it also is self-leveling. So if you all know it's going to make it nice and not going to be all bumpy and everything. And I also put in, like, this containers, I bought these online, 16 ounces. I'll do 7 ounces with the paint. I'll do maybe 7 ounces with the Floetrol and then 2 ounces with water. But you have to use distilled. You don't have to use it, but they recommend you use distilled water for some reason. So that's what I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, whenever I pick them up, you always shake them because for some reason they do tend to separate. Uh-oh, got a clog. All right, we're going to pour the paint in here. So I'm going to use a nice amount. So probably I'll have to do another project. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my silicone. And everybody, like one person, if you watch it on TV, one person is called Super Lube silicone oil. This is just nice to use because, it's just nice to use. It's small. You can put drops in, you don't got to, you get your W40, you got that hose and you got to deal with all that other stuff. So this is kind of good. So I like to put in, this is kind of a lot of paint. I'm actually going to take some of this out. No, I'm not. It's a nice big canvas. So what I'm going to do, so I'm not sure how many ounces that is. That's probably like, if you look at the container here, it might be 4 or 5 ounces. So I'm going to do like probably like 30 drops. Okay. That's just my thing. Now they also say, that's why it's such a big experimentation. So they also say the more you stir it, it'll break up the silicone and your cells will be smaller. So I prefer my cells to be larger. So I'm going to give it just a couple little stirs. Look at that, guys. And that's it. But I also get impatient and I get funny if I think I don't have enough. So sometimes what I will do, I'll put a layer of paint and I'll also put a couple drips on top of the paint that's already in the cup. So this way it'll go into all the color. It's just neat. It's neat. You'll see. Okay. So now I want to start out with I'm going to start out with black. So can everybody see good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to pour a nice amount there. I'm going to cover the surface. You see? So you cover the surface. And then just, so black, I think the blue will look nice with the black. Give it a little shake, a swirl. You don't want to squirt it down real hard because then it'll go in and it'll mix with your other colors and it'll be muddy. What I call muddy. So I'm gonna put the blue on top of the black, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look for some purple. So I'm gonna put some red. Now this technique, like I said, I personally call it the Ouija technique. So you'll have to understand why I do that in a minute. So I'm gonna put a lighter type of blue on top. Oh, I'm gonna put my white. And look what's happening. I call it Ouija because it just starts when it's ready. It's ready. And it's just going to start moving around. So you can guide it a little bit. But I want to see some greens. I'm going to see some lighter colors. So I'm putting in a nice amount of yellow. I'm going to put my blue in again. And then I'm going to put some yellow. Nice amount of yellow. I'll put in some of my white. And there it goes. It's off. And some blue. So you can guide it a little bit and move it around to where you want it to be. You don't want to manipulate it too much because then, like I said, you're going to get, I wish you guys could see the top of this. I forgot to put my gloves on, but I'm going to lift the computer up. Oh, crap. I got paint on my computer. Sorry, Sarah. Can you guys see what's happening there?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that cool? As you look at it, like the bubbles are just popping up. Look over here. And then see what's dripping off. Once that hardens the next day, I peel it off of my piece of paper there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to do something cool with it. So I want some more yellow. I want some more of that green cool color. So you just fill it up there's no waste, there's no nothing. When you're done, you're done. Your cup is filled. Put in some red. I do have some purple here too. Now there it's off again. There goes the Ouija. Put some white in there. This might be my last pour. How cool is that?
Very cool. Hey, Kim, maybe after the last one, we can open the floor, see if anybody has any questions for you.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for Kim, you can unmute yourself and you can turn your video on, raise your hand, and then feel free to ask questions.
I can work and answer at the same time.
Was there any silicone in that in the cup, the first one, or no? Oh, you're putting it in as you go.
Well, there was silicone in the white cup.
In the white, but I didn't know if there was any in the when you first put black.
Nope.
And no, it was not. Okay.
Nope. I might put a couple in the black because there's nothing under the black, so it won't really unless I tilt it. But if you put it on, and remember when you use the silicone with this too, you let it dry for a couple days, and you're going to have to wash it because you'll see big grease spots. So you'll have to wash your canvas off, and it's okay. It doesn't take any of the paint off. Just don't use hot water. Just use a little bit of Dawn and a paper towel. So what's left over is I have actually 2 big containers of some really cool stuff that I peeled off. You can't really see it in the light, can you? Yeah. We'll have to get this video thing down. But they're little pieces of stuff that have dripped off, and they're really fun. They're really cool colors. Actually, I made this container. I'm going to take it off of here. I put the epoxy on it. So I laid this one woman I watched. She called them skins. So you peel them up off of I have this plastic thing, and you just lay them on there, and they just mold till you put the epoxy in it. You take it off of here, it'll be a nice little vase. So the next step, I'm going to put my gloves on. A little late, I already have paint on my hands. I need my torch. A big trick with this too is keeping it going. So let me run and get my torch.
And also feel free if you would like, you can submit a question through chat, and I can ask Kim and she can answer it.
Don't be shy. All right. So a torch, whether you have like a heat gun, some people like the heat gun. I like the torch. Only because that's just my preference. I weld, and so you're just gonna go over. Oh, I wish you guys could see it. I'm going over the area with the torch, and you can actually see the bubbles popping. Can you guys see that? And you can also see the silicone. The silicone is coming through. So all those bubbles that are popping up the different colors, that's the silicone. All right, so I'm happy with that right now. Turn off my torch. And now I'm going to tilt it, make a nice mess. But you want to try and like keep the middle in the middle. So you want to try, I'll just tell you a couple things before I do start, and I'll try and let you guys see it better. Is you want to just cover your edges. If you mush it around too much, your cells are going to get smaller, they're going to disappear, and they're also going to what some people call get muddy. It's going to get like, things are going to mix too much. So I'm going to pick it up here. Oh man, you guys can't see it, can you? Let me shut that door. Unless it's clear. This is what we have right now. It sounds a little better, guys?
That's good.
Okay. Here's the fun part. Now you can do this on any kind of hard surface. You see it all dripping down? You can do this on canvas. If you do it on canvas, just keep in mind that you'll have to put some kind of cardboard or something in there so it doesn't like get saggy. You can also like use your finger to try and like move it to a certain section. So I move my finger here along the edges and get it going. And every time you move it and turn it, it just makes something cool. And then as you're looking as it's dripping, I'm like, oh man, what could I make with that drip? So it's multi, you can do lots of different things with the painting and also what comes off of it.
Now, in advance, before you start the pouring on the sides, are you preparing for where you're going to be resting it on?
Yes.
Because obviously you can't just put it, okay.
Yep, I have these little cups here.
Okay.
Yep. And one's not the same size. It's too big. All right, let me get a rag. So I'll pick the screen up again. I'll show you. I have a couple really fun techniques that I use that I saw. I just made my own tool. I saw on television, on YouTube. So that's what we have. Look how cool.
Very cool.
And it's one of those paintings, it's one of those techniques that you can just like, I don't know, I just find myself staring at it. I'm like, oh, and then, oh, look at that, it's a dinosaur. Oh, look at that, it looks like that. And it really holds true. Art is in the eye of the beholder with this, definitely. So if you have some edges, like that didn't quite make it down, right beneath it is going to be a nice strip of paint. So you just do it with your finger. So it's like a lot of like finger painting too, along with it, which is fun. We all know that. And then I got this, I think it's like some kind of, it had a top on it and you squeeze things for it. I don't know what it is. It was in the craft section. So I cut the top off. And what I like to do is I just blow. I wish you guys.
We can see.
You can see, all right. I
Yeah,
struck
yeah.
it because it's such a cool, it's really neat. So just like if you want to, so understand there's layers after layer after layer on here. That's how we're getting the different colors. So if you go through the top layer into one of the multiple bottom layers, you're going to pull that paint up. So like this looks like, an ocean. This, a lot of times they remind me of like what you would see if you were like, up on the moon looking down at the earth kind of thing. This looks like, oh, this is an ocean, this is a little river. But this is so see how
cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see.
And it's the hardest thing to do is to stop yourself. It really is, because then if you like oh, did it, oh, did it, keep doing it, and then it looks too busy. So my favorite thing is I did a pour, and I had a big piece of wood, and I did a pour, not like similar. I did a sloppy pour where I pour everything in the cup and just flip it over, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and you just pull your cup up, and it just goes whoosh, which is really cool. And I made a circle with it, and I tried like my hardest not to touch it, and it came out really cool. And it actually reminds me of looking out in the ocean in a porthole. It looks like there's like a lot of fish around, and it just looks, it's really cool. So I'm going to blow some more of this over here. I'm going to pull this closer because I'm going to put my shirt right into it like I always do.
While Kim's finishing up her last technique here, we have 3 more minutes. So if anybody has any final questions, feel free to ask them now. You can post them to chat or share them aloud.
I was just curious. Again, you mentioned that about it taking overnight. It still doesn't dry. You said how long are the drying? If you
No,
can
it'll be dry. It'll be touch dry, overnight, definitely.
Okay.
Well, sometimes it all depends on how you mix your paint. Also, if you're gonna use like half Floetrol, half paint, and then maybe 4 ounces of water, you can put water in there, especially with the heavy body paint. So you might want to just mix like half and half of this, and then put like 1/3 paint, 1/3 Floetrol, and then 1/3 water. That would still be okay if you buy the heavy body paint.
Mm-hmm.
And then the silicone, and I just got these containers because I saw this lady on the TV. Before we were like opening all the containers and pouring them in cups and mixing them, and they were getting hard. I said, let's just put them in the bottles. And I also got this metallic paint, but I don't like it with this technique. I like the silver. Like sometimes I'll put like on this painting over here, I just at the end I got the silver and I just went like through it, and it looks cool. Otherwise they mix and they're kind of hard to pull out. But let me blow a couple more spots here, and then I'm gonna say I like it. See how cool that was? And you never know what you're gonna get. So it's fun to like kind of take them off the edge a little bit. And even when you're done, so let me, I got to do the torch again. So I'll torch this up again and get any more bubbles that are in there. So it's real important when you're working with epoxy or resin to get the bubbles out, or else it's horrible. But this is like, it's not as important, but also the bubbles will give you some more cells. So I'm going to heat it up a little bit more. You just run it over lightly, just like I'm doing, guys. You don't want to burn it. You'll know when you're burning it because, it could catch on fire. Plus, be careful with the silicone too, because silicone is flammable. But if you're going to do it, don't do it in one spot. Just go lightly over it. And you can visually see like the silicone popping out, and you can see like a little more, what do you call it? Cells popping out too. This is done. My torch is torched.
We have a question here, Kim. It says, can you lightly blow or dust the metallic on possibly?
Oh, you certainly can. Oh, I had metallic liquid, but I also have the mica. The mica I use with the epoxy. But if anybody has a certain color they want me to sprinkle on here, I'd be more than happy to. Or if we put something like a wing ding with the silver liquid. This is really cool. This is it's just flying out of the bottle right now as soon as I open it with the metallic. I could put some silver what you call it on there. I have some Glam Flake. And let me see, I'll sprinkle some of that. Maybe just blow it from the lid.
We had a suggestion for some purple as well.
Oh, purple. I love purple. Let me get some Glam first. Let me stick it on my finger. You just gotta watch that it doesn't just clump. And we can do too, guys, without even using a straw or whatever, a utensil. Ooh, it's blowing all over. You can just blow it. So I'm gonna blow that chunk of mica right there and see what happens. Let me put my necklace away. I got paint on it. St. Jude's, always dip it in the paint. Do you see that? So right where I just blew is like a big blow mark, and that's where the metallic was. So let me see. Let me get some purple. I've got 2 types of purple. Sinstar purple, and ultramarine. Oh, that's actually blue. So I'll use the purple. this stuff is really good to get, guys. We tried a lot of different kinds, and this is the least expensive, and it also it goes a really long way. Some of the mica you get, like it takes you 6 months to get it from Japan or China. This is made in the United States, and it's also made with child-free labor. So that's kind of something you guys want to look at too. It says somewhere. It says on here somewhere something about it's produced with no child labor, because I'm trying to think what state it comes from, what country it comes from, and they actually have the children are the minors, and they're dying from lung disease, and so it's just a little something. So let me get this. Let me get the purple. Let me look for something proper to put it on with. So I'm going to sprinkle some in the blue, because I think a purple would look nice with blue. That looks nice. I like it. So it won't be so noticeable right now, but what I'll do is I'll put this on the website tomorrow, and you guys can see how it actually came out. Uh-oh, I sprinkled a big piece there. So hold the computer and show you. See the purple. It'll be very shiny tomorrow when it dries, and you'll be able to see it when you walk past it.
It looks wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming and watching me do this. Sarah made me do this. It's great. It was fun, because it's a really cool process, and it's just like it's really fun. I know sometimes you make art, you're like, oh, I made this, I made that. And, you made it in robotic, or sometimes artists just do that, and but this is like every time you do it, and I get so excited. It's like, oh my God, look at this, and then tomorrow's gonna look totally different. And then even like now, I'm looking at it, and I really like that ring, the white spot around that black. We initially put the black in, remember, the first spot, so that looks cool too. I'm fine with it just being totally black. And another way to do it too, guys, I've seen it and I've tried it a lot in the past too, is you do your you can also, like, I prep this with white. You don't have to prep it, you don't have to do anything, which is really nice, because the Floetrol makes it flow and levels it. Like this paint, this might not be done by tomorrow because it's a little bit thick, because I hate to, the more you mush it around, and then you're like, oh, I liked it when I first poured it with all those cells. So, you'll learn, like, try on small pieces first and see how you want to manipulate it, because the more that you do manipulate, sometimes you come out with like a more beautiful, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy I manipulated that more, or I'm glad I blew that with a straw, or they even have something you can do like with a blow dryer. So you could even just like put your paint, you can just like do strips of paint, and then get like a piece of even like a piece of glossy magazine, and just lay it on your top and just drag it. But I did that a couple times, and I didn't really care for that too much, but that's just me. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's too planned or something. I don't know. I just don't like it. But there's really cool ways to do it. And there's lots of really good tutorials on YouTube too. There's a guy that we started watching out, and we started working with, but he only does acrylic. He only does epoxy, is stone cold countertop. And he's a real good teacher. He just, once you see the epoxy, you'll be like, oh my goodness. We're in the process of making our whole countertop epoxy. We did our cabinet doors in epoxy where the glass was, so you can see through it. But then we like started playing with this, and actually it's very appealing because the cleanup is a lot less. And because the epoxy is it's horrible to work with, but it's beautiful too. So, it's a toss up. The epoxy is just real messy and sticky, and no matter how hard you try, you get it all over, and it's just, but it's also beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thanks very much. It was good.
Yeah, this was
Oh, you're
wonderful.
welcome. You're welcome. If you guys have any questions, my either email portsideartcenter@gmail. I get them every day. I'd be happy to answer anybody
Okay.
have any questions.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.